Welcome to the Grimgrin House of Horrors. Hope you're excited to be chased by Grimgrin. As far as our opening hand goes, we have two lands in our hand. We want to keep on this one. It is really nice, but we just don't really have any sort of action going forward. We're going to be on the draw. Yeah, we'll go and keep on this one. I'd like to have some sort of card draw, whether it's some sort of cantrip or something like that, but this is kind of pretty good opening hand. We've got some protection from Grimgrin. We do have a little bit of another way to kind of make it untap. Make sure that it has vigilance, excuse me, not untapped, that's not a correct terminology. But yeah, it's kind of a really good utility hand, so hopefully we draw into a little bit better card draw. Let's go and get down Bloodstained Mire, and then anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We are playing Grimgrin Corpseborn, the official House of Horrors monster. Grimgrin always reminds me of a Resident Evil boss. I don't know why, just like you can see the cutscene where he's like smashing down the hall and you have to mash the A button to get out from beneath his grappling hook or something like that, so that's why it's the House of Horrors. We're going to see Karametra is going to be, it's got to be a pretty big house for Karametra, but Karametra's got to run away from Grimgrin in the Resident Evil house. Let's go ahead and crack Bloodstained Mire. Let's get a black-blue source on the battlefield, and that's going to be Sunken Hollow, Sunken Hollow. Let's get into the battlefield tapped because we definitely don't have the basics for that. And we don't want to draw into it. We're going to get down Island, and then let's go and get down Swiftfoot Boots. Let's go and go for Swiftfoot Boots. We're going to get that down, and then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. We are playing against Karametra, God of Harvest Moon. Indestructible Devotion 7 turns into a creature. Then, whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a forest or a plains card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. And if you are new to Magic, when it says capital Forest and capital Plains, that can be a basic forest. It can also be a dual source, something like Sunken Hollow. Well, not Sunken Hollow since it's an island swamp, but it can still grab dual sources when it says forest or plains like that. You're not just like our opponent grabbed a Scattered Grove, so proved our point. All right, swinging across for one. Just want to keep that in mind if you're new to Magic. I know that's one of those things that makes sense if you've played it a long time, but if you haven't played for a long time, you may not recognize that particular interaction. All right, so let's go. We did not hit the land drop, which is very unfortunate. Let's go and get down Reassembling Skeleton. There we go. Then anything else, we're going to kick it back over to our opponent. So at this point right now, we just really need to hit a land drop. We need to get Grimgrin down. I did update this deck list with a lot of the fast mana. So we've got Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault in here. So hopefully we can kind of draw into one of those and get a little bit more stuff moving. We do have Pull from Tomorrow in here. That's another way for us to kind of draw a little bit more cards and then dump something into the graveyard. Let's say that we do have like Reassembling Skeleton or Blood Gas. We want to bring that into the graveyard so we can bring back out for really cheap. We can use that Pull from Tomorrow to kind of help us dig a little bit deeper and get some card advantage. And at the same time, hopefully, I'm just going to get out Reclamation Saves. This is not, and they've got Maze of Ith. But thankfully we do have, the Swiftfoot Boots just got blown up, so that will not help us. Drawn to Cavern of Souls. Well, that is a land drop. Let's go ahead and get down Cavern of Souls, and I guess at this point right now, we'll go name Zombie, because that will be Grimgrin, and there are very light, kind of like a zombie tribal theme in here, but mainly it just kind of helps Grimgrin. Now, as far as 3 mana goes, has Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. We have some good options. It's almost like if we can rip into a board wipe, we need to get some of these utility creatures. We're going to go for Mimic Vat. I mean, some of these other pieces are okay. We can get those down next turn, but I guess Mimic Vat actually kind of gives us the best opportunity. That way, if something does happen, we can exile it. Who knows, maybe we can get a copy of Dryad Arbor if they do swing in with Dryad Arbor and get that onto the battlefield and get a little bit more mana going. But yeah, as far as additions to the deck, this is a deck that I used to play a lot, and it's been a long time since I played it, but it was funny because I tried to record earlier, and I was playing against an Agila, and I was like, we had Mystical Tutor. I was like, all right, so we'll, because usually, I've got like in the neighborhood of 50 decks, so I just assume that my deck building has basic building blocks in it if I haven't played a deck in about, 6 months or something like that. And so with Grimgrin, I updated it for the fast mana, and I was like, I know there's a board wipe in here, so I go for Mystical Tutor, and I had no board wipes in here. I was like, uh-oh. Let's go and hit the not record button anymore, because it's not really a good thing for us to have that happen. All right, definitely want to have some sort of board wiping. Drawn to River of Tears, and that is a land drop, and I will take it. Now, do we want to go for Buried Alive? And then we can get down the land drop. That'll bring a creature back out of the graveyard. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's go and tap down for Buried Alive. That way we can at least kind of bring back Blood Gas. They're not going to be able to block, but at least at this point, we'll at least be able to kind of get some sort of action going. Let's get Blood Gas in the graveyard. Let's get Golgari Thug. And then let's go ahead and get Gravecrawler. Yeah, there we go. That way we're covered. Either way, I was going to get the land drop down. That's going to bring back Bloodghast out of the graveyard. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And then anything else, we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. So, we are in a little bit of a tough spot. Our opponent does have Maze of Ith on the battlefield, which is going to allow them to untap target attacking creature. And this deck is pretty much kind of like a Voltron black-blue control style deck. You know, when you get down Grimgrin, blow up our opponent's board, and start swinging in for some pretty good damage. We do have a lot of Voltron pieces in here that give Grimgrin vigilance. And we do also have some of the swords in here, sort of Fire and Ice, sort of Feast and Famine. But with that Aura Shards coming down, it is not looking good. This is, and it reminds me, probably Karametra's going to get it on this one. We're going to try our best, but I'll kind of turn this into a Karametra video more than anything. But I do have Karametra, and I turned it into Karametra Defenders a while back before they released Arcades. And so I need to find a new home for Karametra, and I don't know, maybe some sort of just green-white value deck would... Sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, that's kind of one of those decks where I don't really play a ton of green-white, but just having just a lot of the enter the battlefield triggers, stuff like Reclamation Sage and then Bramble Sovereign to kind of make copies of those creatures, you can build up a really nice board state pretty quick. All right, so we've got Karametra swinging across for 6. That will knock us down to 21. And then let's see what we draw into. We definitely need to hit some sort of board wipe pretty soon. That would help us kind of clear some of this. Ooh, Toxic Deluge. Hey, there we go. Exactly what we needed. So we go for that. That's going to take care of Bramble, Lotus, Lotus Cobra. Yeah, that's pretty good. Do you want to swing in first with Bloodghast and Reassembling Skeleton? We're going to lose him either way, so we'll go and push in on this one. I always love it when I talk about we need to hit this card, otherwise it's not looking good, and then boom, there we go. And our opponent is down to 0 cards in the hand too, so thankfully they got a lot of their creatures out pretty quick. So let's go and push across with Bloodghast and Reassembling Skeleton. And then Bloodghast will be untapped from the Maze of Ith. Sorry, Bloodghast. He's really excited to get in there and attack because that's the only thing he can do. He can't block, so a little bit of a bummer. All right, so we're going to swing across for 1, knock him down to 28. If they did block with Bramble Sovereign, that would have put us in a position to where we could have tapped down for Toxic for at least just 3. But actually, I think we want to... I can't remember how this interaction works. I'm pretty sure... I'm still going to go in Toxic for 7 to get everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's... I might be wrong on this, but we're still going to go and tap down for it. Let's do it this way. Let's go ahead and go for... We did not make a land drop for the turn, so that's still a swamp. So we're going to tap down Sunken Hollow, Cavern of Souls, and then Island. And I'm going to go and pay 7. I may be wrong on this one, but in case I am right, at least we'll be able to take care of Karametra on this one. And yeah, that is correct. So we're going to go ahead and go for Toxic, paying 7. That will put us down to 14. Then fingers crossed it catches Karametra. If it doesn't, then I'd rather pay the... Yeah, it does catch it. All right, good. So it's going to send Karametra back to the command zone. We'll go and pass the turn back over to our opponent. So the only thing we really have to worry about at this point right now is going to be Aura Shards. That's going to complicate us going for stuff like Sword of Vengeance and Haunted Cloak. So, but... And then also Maze of Ith, so we do need to find some sort of protection. We do have Lightning Greaves in here, so that's another way that we can at least kind of take advantage of giving Grimgrin Hexproof. We get around that Maze of Ith, and then as long as we kind of bottleneck our opponent on creatures, then Grimgrin can really kind of start cleaning out that board state, and then kind of going from there. All right, see what we're drawing to. Will not be dredging Golgari Thug. Ooh, there. Drawn to Lightning Greaves. Hey, there we go. Let's go ahead and get down Lightning Greaves. Let's do back-to-back top decks. I'll take it. Let's go ahead and tap down Cavern of Souls, get down Lightning Greaves, and then that'll still put us online for Reassembling Skeleton. Yeah, let's just go and bring it back onto the battlefield. It's going to enter the battlefield tapped, and we'll go and put Lightning Greaves on there real quick. There we go. We'll kick it back over to our opponent. And so we have Reassembling Skeleton on the battlefield. We can shift Lightning Greaves over onto Grimgrin, and then kind of start to go there, swinging across, and then we can also go for... Oh, man. And then they got Crossing Grip on top of their library, too. Ooh. This is going to be brutal. All right, we're trying our best. Grimgrin's definitely not going to let Karametra take this one easily, but that Crossing Grip's going to be pretty hard to get around. We just need to hit a land drop, hopefully. All right, not going to dredge Golgari Thug. That's the last thing. There we go. Hit the swamp. Okay, I was going to get down swamp. I'll be able to return. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Man, that would have been so nice to hit that Lightning Greaves. It could have kind of swung across on some of those creatures. Yeah, let's go and go for Grimgrin. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Let's go and tap down on Cavern of Souls. Get down Grimgrin, enters the battlefield tapped, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, next turn we'll see what we want to go for as far as Haunted Cloak or Sword of Vengeance, but we do know that Crossing Grip will be in their hand, and in fact I'm going to, that doesn't look like fun. I'm going to get my note card out to kind of keep track of what they've got going on, because I will forget for sure. So as far as the lowest cost to equip, we're looking at Haunted Cloak. It's going to be 3 mana to get it down and equip for 1. That's going to give Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, so we can swing across on that one. Sword of Vengeance is going to be 3 and a 3, so we're looking at basically First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. So at this point right now with that Maze of Ith, we're simply just going to hold back. We can. The good thing about Grimgrin is that whenever it attacks, destroy target. Yeah, so we can still get that attack trigger, which will really kind of help us at least clean out some of these creatures on our opponent's side of the board. We've drawn 2 Brainstorm. Yeah, let's go and sacrifice. Yeah, we'll go and sacrifice Bloodghast. There we go. Let's go and swing across for Grimgrin. And that way we'll at least kind of take care of Courser of Crewfix. Want to make sure they're not going to be able to make any few extra land drops to get down Karametra, and then we'll see if they end up going for that Maze of Ith activation. Wall of Blossoms, okay. Alright, no Maze of Ith activation. And then let's go and go for Brainstorm to see if we can't hit that land drop. Alright, ooh, and then we hit Vampiric Tutor, nice. Let's go and put Sword of Vengeance on top of our library, and let's go and put Grey Merchant back on top. Let's go and get down Command Tower. We're going to be able to bring back Bloodghast. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And then they still have that Crossing Grip in the hand. Do we want to get down some sort of bait artifact to see if maybe they end up using it? Yeah, let's try that. Let's go for Haunted Cloak. And we're going to put that onto Grimgrin, because that still leaves us online for Vampiric Tutor. Okay, then anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, that could have sequenced out just a little bit differently to where we left that mana up, but at least we're going to get down Haunted Cloak to see if they can use that Crossing Grip. And then we do know that the, what is that? The B card, I just saw it. We knew they just drew into that. That was on top of the Hornet Queen, that's what it was. So many Magic cards, it's kind of hard to keep up with it sometimes. Now with Vampiric Tutor in our hand, and we do have Whisper Silk Cloak, is that something we want to grab something to get a little bit extra protection? They have taken care of Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots, and I think that might be the last thing that we can do. Yeah, let's go and go for Vampiric Tutor just to see if there's some sort of way that we can give ourselves just another piece of protection from that Aura Shards. You know, at this point right now, I'm really tempted to go for Tezzeret. We're not going to have that artifact online just yet, but I really like drawing a card. Just sitting back and drawing cards, and especially if we get that get those Thopters going. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go and grab Tezzeret. That's going to give us just something to do outside of just, swinging in with Grimgrin. Okay, we're not going to Judge Golgari Thug. We definitely want to draw into Tezzeret. And then let's go ahead and sacrifice another creature. We'll go and sacrifice Bloodghast, and that will give its Vigilance. And as far as untapped target attacking creature, okay, we'll have Vigilance, and that will also allow us to still kind of push across on this one. We'll still go and force them to use the Maze of Ith activation. That's going to be 8/8 coming across. We'll see. Yep, there we go, Maze of Ith, and then we'll go and get down Tezzeret. I always like thinking about Grimgrin chasing somebody in the Maze of Ith, and then he's just like, "Where are you?" As he's like walking around the Maze of Ith, just clanking against the walls. Let's go and get down Tezzeret. That's going to be double blue. Now we're going to go for that 0 ability. If we wanted to, we can actually go for the Create a Thopter token, and that might actually work out. Yeah, let's do that, because we get down Whisper Silk Cloak. That'll at least allow us to draw 2 cards next turn, so we'll go and start plussing up on Tezzeret. That way you just get some sort of action going. And then do we want to cast Gravecrawler out of the graveyard? Yeah, why not? It's better than not going to have anything for 1 mana. So we're going to get down Gravecrawler. Then maybe we can start going Gravecrawler, reassembling Skeleton, Beat Sticks, and we're going to pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, this is pretty much what you're going to be doing with Grimgrin. Tezzeret, in fact, is a new addition to the deck. We're running a lot of Voltron pieces, and so outside of just swinging in with Grimgrin, we have stuff like Tezzeret and Ob Nixilis, just to kind of basically Like if we can't get our main game plan going with Grimgrin, we can get down these creatures on these planeswalkers and just have some sort of value board state to kind of start going from there. And in this particular case, you know, paying a 0 ability to draw a card, if we were to get down Omnixilus, we're going to be paying 1 life to draw a card, which is okay. You know, we're at 12 life. Our life total is a resource, but with the amount of artifacts that we're running, it actually works out pretty well to where we can kind of sequence some of that stuff. As far as any new additions to the deck, I'm trying to remember. I think it's pretty core to the deck. I did add a few more kind of cantrips in here, stuff like Ponder, Preordain, and Brainstorm. There's just a lot of stuff in 1 versus 1 that you really want to make sure. It's just really hard to kind of set up mana fixing sometimes in black-blue, so you want to make sure your draws are as smooth as possible. So I'm just going to go for Green Sun Zenith for 2. So let's see what that will be. They're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so they actually 1 away from that Hornet Queen, and they still should have that Crossing Grip in their hand. If I remember correctly, Hornet Queen take care of the Haunted Cloak, okay. And then I'm pretty sure the Haunted... yeah, Hornet Queen is 7 total mana. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they finally hit enough mana to go for that. I'm not going to choose Golgari Thug. Then we draw into Chromatic and Lantern. All right, so let's go to get down Chromatic Lantern. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. And we're still going to get down Whisper Silk Cloak. And let's go and go for the 0 ability. Draw a card, and then draw 3 if we have 3 or more artifacts. So that's really going to allow us to hopefully dig a little bit deeper and find some sort of answer for this Hornet Queen on the battlefield. Now what they can do is, if they want to cut us off card draw, they can use the... Crossing Grip, yep, okay, they're going to go for that. So they will take care of Whisper Silk Cloak, so we'll still draw a card off of that. Got a little bit ahead of myself. We could have maybe sequenced that one just a little bit differently, but it is what it is. We'll go get down Underground Sea, be able to return Bloodghast back. Alright, let's go and push across with Grimgrin. Look at this motley crew Grimgrin has assembled. Even got a Thopter over there. Let's go and swing it across. We're going to attack. It's going to be Reassembling Skeleton, Gravecrawler, and Thopter token. Alright, so we're going to... Grimgrin's going to take care of poor Elvish Visionary. Look at that. Alright, he's going to knock her. Yep, that's fine. We still get that attack step trigger. It's going to take care of Elvish Visionary. We'll be able to get in for at least 4 mana, putting them down to 23 after they go for that crack. But yeah, as far as next turn goes, hopefully if we do hit the land drop, we can get down the artifacts, and then that'll put us online for going for that extra card draw. Yeah, our opponent, I'm all good. I'm familiar with that. Is that if you have X6 enabled, what ends up happening is that it yields through your turn, and our opponent was kind of cycling through there real quick. So I wanted to make sure that our opponent didn't miss their turn, because there's nothing worse than getting this late in Magic and something like that happening. So. Alright, let's see if we can hit that land drop going. Opponent to get down Karametra, which is basically just going to rip apart our all the artifacts that we have going on the battlefield once they do get on that Hornet Queen. Draw into Volraz Stronghold. Let's go and get that down. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's go and go for the 0 ability. Unfortunately, we're not going to have another artifact to get down, but let's go and go for that. Draw a card and see what we can draw into. And not going to dredge Golgari Thug. And draw into Catacombs. Let's go and get down, I guess technically, is there anything, no, there's not really any sort of creatures we want out of the graveyard. Let's go and get down Catacombs. Let's go and push across on this one. Alright, so we've got the whole crew coming across. It's going to be Grimgrin, Gravecrawler flying. And then with that, thankfully with that Mace of Ith, that kind of acts as a vigilance in a way that we can swing in with Grimgrin and then untap it. So we're going to knock our opponent down to 17. And we did activate Tezzeret's ability of drawing a card. Let's go and get down Reefworm. It'll give us just something to do. And then we'll go and tap down on Chromatic Lantern because we've got that Hornet Queen coming down. Now, the fun thing with Reefworm is that we get a Well token that's a 9/9. So at least gives us some sort of creature on the battlefield, especially if we're going to bring some sort of sacrifice creature. So we'll make sure we end up doing that for next turn to kind of get that going. But yes, as far as Maze of Ith goes, this is definitely one of those games where I don't run Land Destruction in a lot of my Commander decks, but there's certain decks that I do need to run Land Destruction, and I'll definitely be adding some after this game because you can see where Maze of Ith on a Voltron deck just absolutely shuts it down. So that's basically what Magic's about, is you encounter games like this where you don't run a certain card because you just don't want to blow up people's lands. I'm like, oh yeah, well, in a scenario like this, we do need situation. We do need it to take care of Maze of Ith. So unfortunately, we're trying to kind of stuck in a Maze of Ith kind of lock right now. But I'm just going to get down those Hornet Queens, going to take care of Chromatic Lantern. But other than that, you can definitely see how the deck is positioned. What it's trying to do is just get a lot of good value creatures, stuff like Gravecrawler, Bloodghast, Reassembling Skeleton, and then, yeah, always yield to that Aura Shards. And it's going to pour a Thopter token, man. Okay, now here's the downside. With that Hornet Queen coming down, that is Hornet Queen and that is Croson Grip out of their hand. With Hornet Queen, these insect tokens have Death Touch, so with Grimgrin being a 5 mana, not super wild about chump blocking on an insect token or trading on that. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go for Grimgrin activation. Let's sacrifice Reform. We're going to get a +1 counter on it. And I love Reform. This is so cool. I love it because if you look at the art, so you can see the little fish in the art. There's the fish. And we're going to sacrifice the fish. You can see the little whale in the background right there, or the kraken. Yeah, I think that's going to be the 6/6 whale. Yeah, we'll get a 6/6 whale here in a second once we go for this last activation. Let's go and sacrifice the fish token. We'll get that whale token. And this is just one of those, like, you know, it's just one of those magic cards that I'm glad it exists. So we've got the whale, and then you can see the kraken in the background. Let's go and sacrifice the whale, get that kraken going. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, so we have a 9/9 kraken on the battlefield, all thanks to Grimgrin. So that's going to make Grimgrin a 7/7. And do we want to... We'll still go and sacrifice, I guess, Reassembling Skeleton to get that additional +1 counter on it. Yeah, because we can still bring it back. And let's go and bring that back. I should have been doing this a little bit earlier, too. All right, and then we'll go ahead and sacrifice Bloodghast. Let's go and crack Catacombs. Let's go and grab Watery Grave, have that come to play, not going to pay 2 life. It's going to bring back Bloodghast. And then let's go ahead and sacrifice. Either way, we're probably going to have a pretty good chunk of mana next turn. We've got Reassembling Skeleton, so we'll go and sacrifice Gravecrawler. And we'll go and sacrifice Bloodghast. That way we'll at least be able to make... We know for sure we're going to be able to make the land drop next turn. Okay, see what we're drawing to. Will not be dredging Golgari Thug. Then we draw into a swamp. Let's go for the 0 activated ability off Tezzeret. We draw into Mana Vault, which is... We can still get that down. Yeah, let's go and get it on Volrath Stronghold. That's going to bring back Bloodghast. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Now here's the kicker. Do we want to swing in with Grimgrin and attack one of those insect tokens? Is that what we want to do? We've gotten to the point, we've got Mana Vault. Yeah, I think we're okay. We can always Volrath Stronghold to put it back on top and draw it with Tezzeret, but I mean, that sounds like a lot of work. Doesn't really sound that fun, but it is an option. Yeah, let's go and get down, we'll get down Mana Vault. I want to try to clean up some of these creatures and maybe turn off Devotion for our opponent. So let's go and swing across with Grimgrin. And then let's go and take care of Hornet Queen. That way there's no sort of bounce shenanigans or something like that. So we'll go and take care of Hornet Queen. It's just basically going to leave those insect tokens on the battlefield. It will turn off Devotion for Karametra. And then at the same time, we can still use that Volrath Stronghold to put them back on top. So, all right, so the insect token will end up blocking on that. Let's go and have Grimgrin go to the graveyard. Or do we simply just want to cast it out of the command zone? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we actually just cast it back out of the command zone. So yeah, that's fine. All right, so that's going to be Grimgrin. It's going to go to the command zone. Let's go ahead and get Grimgrin popped back up, and then we'll try to use that Volrath Stronghold if we need to. Okay, get down Grimgrin, and do we want to go ahead and cast Grave? Yeah, we'll go ahead and cast Gravecrawler. That way we can still kind of start working towards that. Get Gravecrawler back out there than anything else. No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, now that I think about it, with me knowing that they had Hornet Queen in the hand and Aura Shards on the battlefield, I was really hoping that off that tutor, when we grabbed Tezzeret, we wouldn't be able to kind of start to draw 3 cards, but I probably shouldn't have gone for Tezzeret. It might have been a little bit better option to go for, but the thought of drawing 3 cards a turn with Metalcraft on the battlefield was pretty enticing, so unfortunately, it looks we're in a position now to where it's not really taking care of it. Opponent's going to get down Oracle, which will take care of Mana Vault. They do get down to Wasteland, which they can use that to sacrifice to destroy one of our lands. But at this point right now, I guess they could technically take care of Volrath's Stronghold. That would be the hardest thing for us to kind of deal with. And yeah, there we go. They do take care of Volrath's Stronghold. See if they're going to swing across with some of those insect tokens. And then we'll still be online for Tezzeret next turn either way, getting that card draw going. All right, so not going to Dredge Golgari Thug. We're drawn to Liliana. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's go for Tezzeret activation. We would not be going for the dredge option out of the graveyard. Drawn to Night's Whisper is exactly what we need. Do we want to go and force one of the insects block on that? It's going to be putting us at 7, 9 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That will keep us off Liliana's Death's Majesty. But we can end up going for that -3 if we want to bring Grimgrin back out of the graveyard. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's go and sacrifice another creature. Let's go and sacrifice Bloodghast. Yeah, actually, we'll go and sacrifice Reassembling Skeleton. Alright, it's going to untap Grimgrin. That'll still allow us to go for the Oracle off of Grimgrin. And I think kind of like attacking on both of these. Yeah, let's go and push across, and we'll go and use that Grimgrin trigger to take care of Oracle. That way we get rid of that. They do have Sylvan Reclamation on top of their library. Exile 2 artifacts into enchantment, so we need to keep that in mind. And that does put them to where they do have only 3 insects on the battlefield and 0 cards in hand. So we'll probably see this Maze of Ith activation actually go on the Kraken. Okay. Let's see how they want to split this one up. Either way, we're still going to be able to kind of bring some of this stuff out of the graveyard. We still have the land drop to make for the turn. And then we can also get some other stuff going. Opponent's going to go for Night's Whisper. I mean, they're going to get the insect token on Grimgrin. I was thinking about going for Night's Whisper here in a second. Let's go ahead and... let's go ahead and get down Swamp. Let's go ahead and go for Liliana. Let's go ahead and plus up on this one. Ooh, then Kalitas. All right, we get the zombie on the battlefield. Let's go and go for Night's Whisper. And we draw into Scalding Tarn. Okay, anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So, we are online for at least bringing back Reassembling Skeleton out of the graveyard. We do have Pact and Negation. That way, if they do have something kind of, high impact, they're going to get down on the battlefield. We can still have, we have a couple Planeswalkers that we can go for. We are looking at Liliana, plussing her up. With our opponent only having 2 insect tokens on the battlefield, it makes it a little bit easier for us to kind of keep up with this card draw with Tezzeret and slowly start working towards that Liliana ultimate. Now, the only downside is, unfortunately, I meant to send Grimgrin into the graveyard. That way we could bring it back with Liliana, but we're making our land drops at this point, so it's not the end of the world that we didn't do that. All right, looks like our opponent will just simply go ahead and pass the turn. Let's go and bring back Reassembling Skeleton. We definitely need to watch out for the clock. That's going to be... something to watch out for. Not going to Dredge Golgari Thug. And drawn to Truthface Censor. Alright, let's get this popped up. Let's go ahead and go for... let's go for the Tezzeret activation. Draw a card. Drawn to Ponder. Okay. Let's go and go for Ponder. Read the Bones, Monamo, and the Demonic Tutor. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go ahead and put, let's go Read the Bones. Let's put Monamo and let's put Demonic Tutor on top. Not going to pay for Demonic, no, not going to shuffle our library. And not going to Dredge Golgari Thug. So we'll draw into Demonic Tutor. And let's go and plus up on Liliana. Okay, so we get that zombie on the battlefield. Let's go and push across on this one. Alright, so we got Reassembling Skeleton, we have Bloodghast, we have Gravecrawler, and we have the Kraken coming across. It also puts our opponent in a weird spot to where this is pretty much going to be, they have to use Maze of Ith on the Kraken, and then we're still getting in for 2, 4, 6, and then at least 7 total points of damage on this one, depending if they ended up using these insect tokens to kind of go for that chump block. Now, as far as Demonic Tutor goes, we should have, I think we still have Pack Rat in here. But let's see. Okay, they're going to go down to 6, so that's basically going to put us on Exsanguinate. Yeah, let's go and do that. So let's go and get down Scalding Tarn. Let's go and go for Demonic Tutor. And unfortunately, it's going to put them at exactly 5 lives. So let's go and go for Demonic Tutor. Yeah, let's go and grab Exsanguinate. There we go. Let's go and grab that, because basically that's going to be And unfortunately, yeah, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, all right. So we're going to be one away. So we'll at least wait till next turn. We've got a really nice board state developed. We do have Pact of Negation that we can still go ahead and use. If we do have to use Pact of Negation, that still puts us down to we can still exsanguinate as kind of the last part of that one. So we can still use it if we need to. But if not, if our opponent simply just gets down some sort of value creatures, and then we can at least kind of go ahead and go for exsanguinate for the win. So you can definitely kind of see where having Planeswalkers in here is kind of what Grimgrin wants to do. You want them to kind of spend a lot of the resources taking care of some of the stuff that makes Grimgrin really good. And then once you get down a couple Planeswalkers to kind of get some sort of alternative win condition, it really kind of helps. All right, so opponent's going to be swinging across with Tezzeret. That's going to knock it down to 4. But either way, we're still going to be online with Liliana going for that minus ability. It's going to destroy whatever they get down using that -7. And that's going to be at least destroy all creatures. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because either way, we're going to have Exsanguinate, and then if they do have something like Mana Tithe, that's not the end of the world, so we can make that work. So we'll see what else they get down, but I think at this point right now, we'll be pretty good. Let's go and crack Scalding Tarn. It's definitely a good game by our opponent, too. It's going to get that island down, and we'll bring back old Bloodghast. At this point right now, we're not going to jinx anything by swinging with Bloodghast. We're just simply just going to... Oh, where do you... I guess I thought I hit yes on that one. Either way, it doesn't matter. All right, so we'll have Exsanguinate, and then we have backup on Pact of Negation for that. So let's go for Exsanguinate. That's going to be double black, and then we'll tap down for... We're going to tap the whole thing on this one. X is going to be 8. There we go. All right. Exsanguinate for 8. Each opponent loses X life. We're gaining X life. See if they have some sort of answer for this. They only have 1 card in the hand, and then we do have Pact of Negation that we can counter that spell. Basic land cycling. I was like, oh, do they have an answer for that? I was like, oh my gosh. And then Plains, and then I think that should be... There we go. Knock our opponent down to -2. Good game to our opponent. As you can tell, definitely be adding some sort of land destruction to the deck to take care of Maze of Ith, or worst case scenario, Pithing Needle. But as you can see how hard it was for her to beat it. But we ended up beating it. We got down Tezzeret, Liliana, had a whole motley crew of creatures, Gravecrawler, Bloodghast, and then very slowly kind of grinded it out with that. The line of play that I was going to go for with Demonic Tutor was maybe grabbing Pack Rat, and then... just making a ton of pack rats and then going from there. So that it's always fun to kind of get that going. But anyway, if you enjoyed your time in the Grimgrin's House of Horrors, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.